The case of the Iranian women's soccer team, the brave women who have claimed asylum in Australia, is so important on so many levels because it shows us what matters in life, in government and in global affairs. The official remaining Iranian team and officials left their Gold Coast hotel for the airport this afternoon.
Shame on you! 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 Shame on you!
International soccer players, coaches, interpreters and other officials are driven past protesters to the airport to leave the country and head into an uncertain future. Who knows how or when they can get back into Iran? Who knows what would happen to them on their return? Who knows how many more of them would like to claim asylum here but couldn't, blocked by their own officials or too fearful about what would happen to their family and friends back home. This is the deadly theocratic evil of the Iranian regime playing out in our own country in the here and now. Lives on the line, fateful decisions, torment and treachery. Look at the bravery of these soccer players last week. Look at these women playing in their veils, the veils forced on all Iranian women under law and under fear of imprisonment and death. Look at them refusing to sing the national anthem of the country that oppresses them. They were soon dubbed wartime traitors in Iran, and their world closed in around them. By late afternoon yesterday, just when we were on air discussing their plight, 5 of these women, led by the captain, Zahra Ganbari, were running for their lives. They were chased down hotel corridors by Iranian officials, and they were helped by Australian Iranian supporters, and they ran into the arms of federal and Queensland police. By late last night, they were meeting directly with Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke. Note the lack of veils, the first obvious signs of freedom at a great time of peril. By now, this was a global story. And in the early hours of the morning, our time, US President Donald Trump was on social media accusing Australia of making a terrible humanitarian mistake by allowing the women's team to be forced back to Iran. They'll most likely be killed. Don't do it, Mr. Prime Minister. Give asylum, Trump pleaded publicly, globally. He said the US would take them if Australia didn't. Now, the timing here is crucial, but it seems that around the same time, the formal granting of asylum was actually happening in Brisbane. At 2 o'clock in the morning, Trump was on the blower to Anthony Albanese.
He was concerned about the Iranian women in the soccer team and their welfare and their safety if they returned home. He conveyed that to me. I was able to convey to him the action that we'd undertaken over the previous 48 hours and that 5 of the team had asked for assistance and had received it and were safely located.
Who knows whether the Trump intercession made any difference? But soon after the phone call, the president was back on social media. He revealed the phone call with Albanese and said he's on it, relaying that 5 women were being taken care of and that others might feel they must go back because of worries about the safety of their families who were facing threats. The Prime Minister was doing a good job, said Trump. God bless Australia. How about that? A Trump endorsement for Albanese. He'll be loving that. But let's be clear here. These 5 brave women have chosen freedom, sure, and that's a great prize. But there's a huge personal cost too. Their sporting careers most likely, their family ties, their lives as they've known them.
Once everything had been signed off last night, there were lots of photos, lots of celebrating, and then a spontaneous outcry of Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. from the newest Australian residents. These women are great athletes, great people, and I say to them on behalf of the government, on behalf of the parliament, and I suspect on behalf of the whole nation, to them, welcome home.
Now, the other team members leaving Australia, was that their choice? Were their hands forced either directly or indirectly because of fears for others at home? What sort of a regime is this Iranian theocratic dictatorship? Who treats its women, its national representatives, like this? The coalition supports the government action.
These women are standing up against the regime I just described with great courage, with enormous courage. And I think that's captured the imagination of the Australian people. Every reasonable Australian would want a good outcome for their safety and for their future.
But other politicians have shown their hypocrisy. Listen to former Labor Senator, now independent, Fatima Payman, herself a refugee from Afghanistan. Listen to her praise Iran just a year ago.
Incredible place that Iran is, allowing for women to participate in the workforce, to ensure that they have a voice and their voices are heard. They're involved in the democratic process. Realities that we're not privy to living here and listening to the propaganda that we receive from very single-sided organisations with a specific agenda.
Yeah, Iran's treatment of women just gets bad press and propaganda, apparently. But today, Payman took to social media, welcoming the granting of humanitarian visas and praising the Iranian soccer players for showing immense courage. Make up your mind, Senator, and just admit that you were wrong. Have the courage to proclaim that theocratic Islamist regimes are wrong. Simply wrong. They are anathema to our values of freedom and democracy, and they are especially odious for women. As I said last night, this was the only proper response from Australia. I only hope the government and authorities have made sure that all the other members of this Iranian group were given the opportunity to express their wishes individually without anybody standing over them.